right. Next pick, a third pick of the day. Who is CD going to select?
I'm gonna take a guy from Power Five, but not necessarily a conference itself. It's Marcus Freeman, Notre Dame.
Fantastic
Uh,
pick. Fantastic pick.
he
As we
struggled
know,
out of the gate early. Marshall. Talk about that. We are.
Stanford. Stanford
Yep.
comes in with their, 36s on their ACTs, and they hung some burgers on them. That was tough. That was a tough game to watch as a Notre Dame fan. I mean,
Yeah.
look, so Brian Kelly, right? He's the coach at LSU. He was picked on a day one. Okay. He went 11-2, 10-2, 11-2 in his previous 3 years there. So they had good talent on the team. They were winning lots of games. The expectation was, oh, Marcus Freeman, he got promoted from DC. It was, a promotion from the inside. People were like, oh, he's going to keep the momentum going. People love him. He's a player's coach. He recruits at a very, very high level. He did it at Notre Dame as DC. He did it at Cincinnati. He's a very good coach. He's a very good coach. But this year, it was their first time losing 4 games in a regular season since 2016. So I understand if Notre Dame fans were upset about this year, but recruiting rankings, so Brian Kelly went 2019 16th, 2020 15th, 2021 they were 10th. 2022, when Brian Kelly leaves, he leaves to get a better job, and Marcus Freeman comes in, and they have a better recruiting class. They're number 9th in the country.
They finished strong too.
Finished strong. They finished stronger than, honestly, if Brian Kelly had stayed. And then in 2023, they were 13th. In the country, but really they got some really, really good talent that I'm not sure they would have otherwise brought in without Marcus Freeman. And they have already started out pretty hot in 2024.
Yeah, who they had committed to them was Keon Keeley, right? That he ended as a top 3 player nationally. And when flipping to Bama, but they were on him early and they got him to commit, and unfortunately they couldn't close. But maybe in a couple years, it's a different story there with the way he's recruiting at Notre Dame.
Yep, absolutely. So they went 9-4 this year. They won their bowl game against South Carolina. Their over/under win total for this year is 9.5. So people were high on this team and they just didn't perform to expectations. Their over/under win total for this year is 9. In terms of offense, man, they lose Tommy Rees, their offensive coordinator. He goes to Alabama. They had a terrible offense last year. I'm going to tell you their offensive efficiency. It was 39th in the country. That does not include their pass game. Well, it does include their pass game, but they were 98th in total yards per game, passing wise. It was bad. They had injuries at quarterback. They did not have their guy at all. Drew Pines over at Arizona State right now, I think. That dude, he stinks. I'm sorry. Okay, that's harsh. He's not very good in terms of what they were trying to do there at Notre Dame with Tommy Rees. So Tommy Rees is gone. Their defense is obviously going to still be good. They got some good talents. They brought in Sam Hartman, which is the big story of the offseason in terms of transfer portal for Notre Dame. And they had a guy, Javontae Jean-Baptiste, 6'5", 250, nice solid edge rusher, but fortunately he medically retired. So that was a hit to that transfer portal class. But overall, I think they got better. But tell me why specifically are you taking him as well?
I believe in his philosophy. We talked about, Kalen DeBoer's philosophy in terms of recruiting, a different type of way that maybe Jimmy Lake did, or maybe Chris Peterson did. Marcus Freeman's recruiting differently at Notre Dame that Brian Kelly did. And Brian Kelly always complained about, didn't really complain, but the knock on him and the defenders were saying, we didn't have the talent. They didn't have the talent to beat Bama. Didn't have the talent to beat Ohio State or Clemson or whenever they had to play in those big games. But the thing is as head coach of a college football, you have the ability to control your roster for not necessarily, but to recruit hard, to recruit good. And I think Marcus Freeman knows that. He understands the importance of having a talented roster and being able to make that next jump that Notre Dame fans want them to make. And we see that this year they hit the recruiting trails hard. They're 3rd right now, including they got Cam Williams committed, 5-star wide receiver from Glenbard South over in Illinois here, 6'2", 190, really, really good. They got their quarterback, top 5 quarterback in the country, CJ Carr.
Very good.
Yeah, he's Elite 11 show out. He'll be might even be higher ranked by the end of the year. But yeah, their over on win total right now was at 9.5 last year. Obviously they hit the under there. but it's down to 9 this year. And I think they have a real chance of, being right around 9 wins, which is improving on the 8 wins last year. Let's see. I don't know. I like their class portal, uh, transfer portal class, like Sam Hartman. Antonio Carter was a big time get, a cornerback from Rhode Island. Um, he was very highly sought after, and he's going to be real good for them just to fill a hole there in the cornerback spot. And I do think year 2, Marcus Freeman culture, getting another year away from Brian Kelly, I think they're going to be a lot better this year.